Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Last week we had the wedding episode, so it was just me on the podcast, but this week Brittany is back and also on the Patreon bonus content. We're going to be answering some of the questions that were in the comments on the wedding video and also getting Brittany's point of view on the wedding thing and also just going over any details that I feel like I missed. So if you want to see that, make sure you join the Patreon bonus content. And yeah, let's get into a few things that went down this past weekend because honestly, it really did feel like the first weekend of fall.
It really was. It was kind of chilly here too, which I feel like added to the fall vibes.
It's literally like it hit September 1st and got cold.
It did, and I wasn't expecting this. And you know I wasn't expecting this because I was trying to plan outfits to get ready for tailgate season, and I had like some shorts, a new tank top, and that's all been scrapped. I have to start from zero and figure out what I'm going to wear this weekend.
You're going to need a cardigan.
Sure will.
Yeah, no, I did a lot of playing Monopoly.
Which is wild.
I have not played Monopoly in like 8 years, and perhaps for a good reason.
It takes 8 years to play that game.
Because it's a very long game, and also I think it takes 8 years off my life because I get so angry.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I get so competitive and angry.
Because you're into the game?
Yes.
The last time I played it, because this is Brian's favorite board game, and I've played it with him a total of once throughout our time together, and I got angry like internally because I personally find the game to be extremely boring. And I don't, and maybe the boringness comes from I don't fully understand some of the rules and the concepts behind the game. So there's no way for me to get competitive, but you seem to be the opposite.
Oh no, I'm very into it. Once I played, I realized that was probably why I hadn't played in so long. There's perhaps name calling. I was not being very demure, very mindful, and I did not win.
So what was it for?
What was it all for?
Right.
Truly. But I immediately after I was like, we need to play again. So we're talking about getting a Monopoly weekly thing going.
A weekly round of Monopoly?
Yeah.
Well, if that happens,
maybe you'll join like
maybe
one.
I'll join. Brian would be probably interested in that.
Okay, like a Monopoly league.
A Monopoly league would be right up his alley, but I would prefer an Uno league. That's what I played a lot of this weekend. And I would say that that's another game that evokes big emotions out of all who play. Because the rules there are specific rules, but are there really? No. Everyone plays their own way.
It's house rules. Whoever's house you're at, that's who makes the rules for that game. I will say, if you care about somebody, don't sit next to them in Uno.
All bets are off.
Yeah. But that's what I did. I also went to my first cider mill
As did I.
Perhaps the season.
We went on separate occasions, but we had a similar experience, I want to say.
I would agree with that.
We both consumed grilled cheese.
Donuts and cider. I bought some and brought them home and ate them this weekend.
As one should.
I want to say, is it too soon for Halloween activities?
Absolutely not. And I take this stance very seriously.
Okay.
For me, Halloween begins mid-August. Light Halloween. It is extreme, but that's when you start to like slowly ease into the season. You start to think of maybe some decoration. Because if you are not quick to get into your Home Goods, your local Marshalls, you are not getting shit from the stores. Like Halloween's already cleared out from all Home Goods, all Marshalls, all TJ Maxx.
Literally saw Christmas things being put out, and I was like, can we please just have one thing at a time?
Target has it together. Target is just starting to get Halloween stuff, which is probably more mainstream. But if you don't start celebrating Halloween come September,
you've missed it all.
You've missed the entire season, because to limit it to just October is really doing it a disservice because there's so much to do.
That's fine. I feel like you can do fall activities, but like starting Halloween activities may be pushing it.
That's true.
Until October. But also what just came out, which kind of put me in the Halloween mood, was the 31 Nights of Halloween schedule from Freeform came out.
I live for
and
that
I
list.
need people to like, if you're into that, I need people to comment what you thought, because personally,
You felt attacked.
I felt attacked because
Right.
there wasn't enough Halloween Town
No, that was
and
like
there
one day.
wasn't enough Twitches.
And that was also one day. And Freeform is owned by Disney, so I don't see why we're not doing Halloween Town Twitches on a bi-nightly basis.
I will say it was a lot of Beetlejuice, which
Makes
normally
sense.
I would be fine with. I love that movie, and I get it. The second one's coming out today. If you're watching this on Friday, it's coming out today. Beetlejuice. But I don't want it on every single night. Like,
It's on
let's
like every other
let's take
night.
it off half the amount of times and put in Halloween Town and Twitches.
There was a time when Hocus Pocus received the Beetlejuice treatment. Beetlejuice? That's the word. And it was on, well, I want to say every other night. And on Halloween, they have not brought this back, and I really wish they would. They played they played Hocus Pocus from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. They played Hocus Pocus on a loop
and
all
I'm
day
fine
for
with
Halloween.
that.
And I would like to see that brought back, but they have really taken back how much they are playing Hocus Pocus. It's still a staple, still pretty regular on their schedule.
I agree. Oh, no Harry Potter.
No Harry Potter. I did mention that in the notes. I feel that Harry Potter is both a Halloween and Christmas movie.
Agreed.
Because I mean, it does take place over the whole school year. They do focus in on Halloween and
I'm
Christmas.
not gonna lie. We had some Harry Potter on this past week, and
I've been in a Harry Potter mood. I like go, through phases of when I'm more into it and I'm less into it. I'm always a fan, but I've been in phases where like I'm ready to start rereading books. I've been listening to my Harry Potter podcasts, and I've been playing the movies.
Yeah, no, we just caught a little bit. It was on TV, and I feel like they're gonna start playing it a lot.
I hope they do. It's a very spooky season type movie.
Well, also, I'm definitely seeing Beetlejuice too.
Oh my gosh. Beetlejuice, the original, kind of scared me a little bit.
That's fair. We were young when it came out.
We were, and it gave me kind of and this makes sense because it's Tim Burton. I felt like I was trapped in a box watching it. Like I felt the feelings that I feel watching, what's the movie? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You know when you feel like you're in a space that you just can't get out of? There's no exits, there's no doors. You've never felt like that?
No.
Oh, I feel like that when I watch Alice in Wonderland,
Like,
but that doesn't scare me when I'm watching movies.
Yeah, that's weird. Like in real life, I felt claustrophobic, but I've
feel
never
claustrophobic. Yes, that's the
like
word
not
for it.
watching movies. I haven't felt that way.
No, that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory makes me feel claustrophobic, and so did this movie. It made me feel claustrophobic, and I don't know. It's because like when they go into Beetlejuice's world, it just seems like there's no way out. But I think that's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like
That's interesting. I wonder if anyone else has had that feeling
that
watching
experience, because you really love Beetlejuice, don't you?
Yeah, I always did. I loved that. I loved Alice in Wonderland. Charlie and Chocolate Factory I liked, but Alice in Wonderland and Beetlejuice I loved. But also I just looked it up, and Beetlejuice the original came out in 1988.
That's crazy. And what the cast has been saying as they've gone their press tour, because I've been following their press tour, because the looks Jenna Ortega has been serving have been impeccable. So good, so strong, very demure. She's been acting very demure throughout the entire press tour process. But they've been saying, oh, we waited so long for a sequel because we were waiting for Jenna to be born, which is just cute. But also,
I did see that.
Did you see the sunglasses thing that was happening? So Jenna and Winona Ryder were, getting photographed by a bunch of photographers. They kept saying, take off your sunglasses off, or whatever they were saying to Winona. And Jenna was like, no, you don't have to. Just so calmly, so considerately. And I just thought it was the most precious thing.
Yeah, they've been doing such a good job with their press. And I feel like it's unfortunately getting compared to all the bad press that previous movies have just had that we were just talking about. And now everyone's like, okay, this is a complete 180. Like now we're getting what a movie press tour should be.
We really are.
With the outfits and like the cast just being so good. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that and to perhaps start more fall activities, but mainly NFL starts this week.
This is our moment. This is our time as a sports podcast. This is
where we shine.
It's our time. And the Lions kick off this Sunday, prime time, 8 p.m. versus the Rams.
I will say, getting those prime time spots is like great. But then on the other hand, it's not that great for like tailgating and
it's really not
going downtown to watch the games.
It is. And it is really, it's inflating our ticket cost.
Yeah.
Because a few years back when the Lions weren't the greatness that they are today, we were still fans. We were still rooting for them. Tickets were much more accessible at that time. Now it's chaos trying to get a ticket to a Lions game.
Yes, I've been seeing a lot of the ticket giveaways.
The giveaways are
starting
beginning again.
I think it's so funny. I mean, I don't know if other cities and stuff do this, but every single football season, I swear, it's like every business in the city comes together and is like, how many giveaways of tickets are we going to do to like.
It's intense. There were, during playoffs last year, like daycare centers giving takeaway. I'm like, how are these daycare centers getting a hold of these tickets and giving them away? Because it was, you name it, and the business was giving away Lions tickets. And we've already seen the first few posts from that. It's been absolutely wild.
Yeah, no, it's starting already. So I'm sure this season there's going to be a lot of it. And it's just so funny. The businesses are always so random. And you're like, everybody you see reposting it and like commenting and doing what you're supposed to do to win them. Like, come on.
I know. Try to gatekeep them. I'm like, maybe if I just keep tagging the same people, because I do try to win. I'm like, maybe if
Brittany's part of the problem.
I'm low-key contributing to the problem. I'm like, maybe if I just tag like the same 3 people, it won't spread too far, but it always spreads.
Yeah, I always see them. But yeah, we're playing the Rams at our home opener.
And we're going to win.
Obviously.
And that's just the facts of life.
Honestly, we did not plan either. We both showed up in Lions hats today.
Because we're ready.
And yeah, I was just like, obviously.
We're ready for the game.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Me too. Same wavelength.
Well, you're drafting your fantasy football team this week.
I sure am. And I'm very nervous. So at the time of recording this, my draft is tomorrow. And I did very well in my fantasy draft last year. I did very well with my team. I had a stacked team with 3 star players, 3 players that are near and dear to my heart. St. Brown, obviously. Secondly, we had Mr. Travis Kelce, who I did draft prior to him dating Taylor Swift. And third and finally, Joe Burrow, obviously, for obvious reasons. He was injured for almost the entirety of last season. So that didn't really work out in my favor, but I do intend to draft him again, along with St. Brown and Travis Kelce. However, more people have joined my fantasy league. There was 10 teams last year, and there's 14 this year, and I have the 10th pick. So the odds of getting St. Brown are slim because he's like number 6 in the draft, and everyone's from Michigan that's playing this. Like,
that's in your league.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes first. So I'm really aiming for, since I can't get St. Brown, I do want to get another Lions player. So I'm thinking
that would be great.
Yeah. I'm thinking Gibbs, Montgomery, Jared Goff could be an option. But do I really want to put him over top of Joe Burrow? Yes. But for the plot, it's always fun to root for Joe Burrow just because, you have to spread the love a little bit, even though the Lions are going to crush everyone. So we'll see how this plays out. My hope is I can get Travis first pick. He's not like on the top 14 players ranked because it goes like wide receivers, then maybe running backs, and then tight ends.
I have never done fantasy football.
I don't really know a lot about it.
You just like pick based on your heart.
I picked based on my heart, and that did me damn well last year. So I'm hoping that for the same outcome this year.
Well, also, you did say that Taylor has apparently been drawing up plays.
That she has. So Patrick Mahomes has come out and he was saying how, Taylor's been drawing up some plays and they might have to throw some in. Travis actually just recently, I want to say today, maybe yesterday, the news broke, but he commented on the situation saying she's been drawing up plays. None of them have gotten to Coach Reed yet, but if they do, and if they are put into play, Travis will make sure everyone knows that that was Taylor's doing. But apparently she's only been drafting up plays for Travis, which makes sense. But maybe she'll branch out as we get into, her real second season being a part of the NFL.
That's actually insane. It's funny because as much as we've been into football, I haven't once thought to
draw a play. I really think that you could actually, and I was thinking this in my head as we were talking about Taylor drawing plays. I feel like you'd be good at drawing football plays. You're pretty artistic, and I feel like that.
I don't think it's about the drawing itself.
I feel like that comes into play. Well, because for me, if I was drawing, all these X's and O's, I would get so fed up if one X or one O didn't look right. But yours would be beautiful to start.
I don't think it's about the drawing itself.
You're pretty smart too.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So I really think you could come up with a good
might help her, but her physical drawing abilities, I don't know if that's what they are commenting on here. But I actually just watched, this reminded me, this weekend we watched the Michigan football team scandal documentary on Netflix.
Oh, what did they have to say?
Honestly, it was just about this supposed sign stealing. And to be honest, at the end of it, I didn't really feel one way or the other.
Interesting.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but basically the Michigan football team was accused of stealing signs from other teams to know what their plays were going to be while they were playing them. And there's a lot of rules that are kind of in the gray area about what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do.
Right.
And in the end of it all, I kind of left being do I think he was morally doing the right thing? Probably not. But do I think it was actually against the rules? It's kind of hard to say. Yeah. There was a lot of gray area with it. And
it's tough.
It turns out there's actually this whole underground network of people who do that for just the regular
across
yes, every
everywhere.
Football team has a sign stealer.
You know what's wild about that is there was this commercial, and I don't know what necessarily it was to advertise the Lions versus the Rams this week. Dan Campbell was in it, and I think it was also a cross collaboration with Applebee's. But it was Dan Campbell was the waiter at Applebee's, and people were trying to give their orders. And they were just saying their orders normal. And he's like, no, you have to anyone could be watching. You give your order. And so he made the people cover their mouths with the menus. And then he was like, they'll never or I forget what he said at the end. I'll have to show it to you after this. But yeah, it's a big deal. They gotta be super secretive.
Yeah. And apparently when they're doing signs, there's 10 people and 9 out of 10 are not actually play calling. And then the one is, so you have to figure out who's faking the play call versus who's actually doing the play call.
This feels right up Taylor Swift's alley because, if somebody's going to keep a secret, it's going to be Taylor.
That's true. Well, back to that. Apparently there's been rumors this past week too that they're going to get engaged soon, Taylor and Travis.
Right.
Which I feel like we've been kind of hearing that for a while.
I feel like that's almost been since they'd been together for officially after a month, people were saying.
I feel like it's kind of been.
They're going to get engaged. They're engaged. So not sure about that. But on the flip side, people are saying that their entire relation, well, this is all speculation. I think people are thinking it's fake, but a PR packet is now circulating the internet from Full Scope Public Relations, which they do allegedly manage Travis. I looked up their website myself, Full Scope Public Relations, and on their talent and brands page, Travis Kelce was their first photo. And the photo that's circulating is essentially a stapled packet, says confidential notice in very small letters, and then runs through the key messages and focal points for their
breakup
PR
messaging.
breakup messaging. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see this. I don't think that's real because I feel like in what world are we stapling and printing packets and giving them out?
100%. And I saw somebody else on TikTok say that point and how they could totally see this being somebody's like college school project.
I was going to say that next, like if you have interns or like a school project and you're working in PR, that would be a great assignment to give
100%.
to be like, come up with your best ideas for what this would look like or this crisis
how they would
situation.
Navigate this crisis.
Yeah. So I definitely don't think it's real, but I mean, it's interesting that he really does use them, but again, I don't think it's real.
I know. It was interesting when I was like, is this even a real company?
Yeah.
And I Googled it and then I looked on their page and I started scrolling. I was like, I don't even see him on there. Because he was the first damn picture, so my eyes went right past it.
Oh, gosh. Well, in other engagement news, Lady Gaga is engaged to Michael Polanski. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, she's got a big fat rock.
I didn't see it.
You can't, if you see the pictures.
I didn't see a picture either. I just saw like a little like article thing pop up, but her movie is actually coming out, and that's where she kind of announced it because they did the red carpet and she showed her ring that is the size of half of her finger.
It's the size of a football, I swear.
Actually, though. And so, yeah, so her movie is coming out, The Joker, the follow-up to the 2019 Joker, and basically it's going to be when the Joker meets Harley Quinn, and Gaga is playing Harley Quinn, which I'm excited to see. Did you watch The Joker?
I did, which is surprising because for those who may not know, The Joker is my biggest fear. Since I saw The Dark Knight in movie theaters with my dad and brother, whenever it came out, it was a terrifying moment. I can remember being in the movie theater. We were sitting in probably the 6th row back, and we were about 4 seats in the entire movie. I kept looking up at the corners at the top of the stairs because I felt like the Joker was going to come down the stairs and get me. And I have had those repetitive dreams that the Joker has been after me ever since that moment. So I don't know
what'd you do to him?
I don't know. It's different every time, but he's always after me.
Maybe you're Harley Quinn.
Maybe I am his Harley Quinn, but I don't want to be. And I reluctantly went to theaters to see The Joker, and I did not like the feelings I felt seeing it in movie theaters because it brought me back to being a small child looking up to see if the Joker was coming down or hiding behind me. So I told Brian, because he's very excited to see this, I cannot see this movie in theaters, but I will watch it from the comfort of our home during daylight hours, followed by a very happy movie.
I do just want to point out that you were definitely like going into high school when Dark Knight came out.
No, I wasn't. When did it come out?
2008, so we were 13.
And I still remember.
But I'm pretty excited to see it. It's actually coming out October 4th, which is so soon.
That's like tomorrow. It's
like,
basically
like a month.
Tomorrow in a month.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exciting for Lady Gaga. I really haven't heard much from her, like as far as like music or anything in a long time, but I knew she was doing this movie because I remember this has been going on, the filming for this for a while.
I remember seeing photos from while they were filming. People were getting like glimpses of them. They might have been filming in like New York.
Yeah.
Yep. So they were on the streets and people were getting clips of it here or there. So it'll be interesting to see it. And it's almost like a musical. I'm pretty sure they're singing in it.
Oh, I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure Lady Gaga sings in it. So I think it's musical-esque. I will be seeing it once you're able to stream it, download it. But probably not going to a theater to see it because I will be reliving my reoccurring nightmare, and that's just not something that I'm willing to do.
This says, according to Variety, the movie will be mostly a jukebox musical.
Yep.
And contain at least 15 new versions of very well-known tracks.
Oh, That's very interesting. I'm sad that I'm not able to see it in theaters. But I hope you enjoy your experience when you
I don't
inevitably
know.
go. You don't know?
I will, but like the musical thing does
That's
kind
gonna
of
deter
throw
you a
me
little
for
bit.
a loop. Yeah, and I hope with this, because I know we talked about when Mean Girls came out, they really did not say that it was a musical
I don't know if they're
enough.
really
And I
advertising it
don't
too
think they're
well.
showing that this is a musical because I had no clue.
Yeah,
So I think the audience is going to be a
a little
little shocked
surprised.
if they don't start saying that.
Well, we'll see how their press tour goes because that's really making or breaking movies nowadays.
Really, it really is. In other kind of engagement slash relationship ish news, Miles Teller and Kaylee, is it Kaylee?
Yeah,
We do
Kaylee.
this every time.
I know, it's Kaylee.
Okay. Got tattoos for their 5th wedding anniversary, which I didn't know about this. Brittany informed me
I sure did.
and then posed a question.
I did.
Go ahead,
my
go for it.
question. My question at hand is, would you and Evan ever consider getting tattoos for your 5th year wedding anniversary?
So what was their tattoo though?
So it was literally on the ring finger. Kaylee got a single band around her ring finger, and Miles got 2. So like a line.
Tattooed ring
Yes.
line.
Yes.
I mean, that's a little
show you
bit
a picture of
different.
it.
I have seen where people will get the initial of the other person on their ring finger.
Which I think is cute too. This is what they did.
Yeah, it's cute, but I don't know if I would ever do that. I mean, I don't have any tattoos. I think we've talked about this. I have not a single tattoo.
Not yet.
So I don't foresee it happening ever.
There was talk of us getting tattoos at Lollapalooza.
They were temporary tattoos. We didn't follow through, but I didn't know
they
were
didn't
a
email
thing.
me back.
Yeah, I know.
I was so serious about it.
So we didn't know this was a thing, but apparently now there is temporary tattoos where basically it's a real tattoo. The whole process is the same, but the ink that they use is actually like biodegradable and your body breaks it down over time. So then by the end of a year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on like the size and how like dark you get the tattoo, it will be gone. It will fade away on its own after so long. So that was something that did intrigue me because I was like, then you can kind of see if you like it or how you feel about tattoos before fully committing the rest of your life to them. But we didn't end up doing it, and I didn't even know what I would have wanted. So I was
were talking about it. It was gonna be cute. We really didn't know what we were gonna get.
Yeah, we really didn't.
We
and you were much more lax about it because you already have tattoos.
I have 3 tattoos.
You're so cool.
I'm so cool. No, and I almost have Brian convinced to get tattoos when we're going on a trip this fall, and he said that potentially we could get tattoos there.
Real ones.
Permanent. I think he might be kidding a little bit, but
I feel like he's kidding because I don't know if he was even too sold on the temporary ones.
No, I don't think he was either, but I think he was just kind of like peer pressure, you know?
Yeah.
Which is fine. Peer pressure, it wasn't really a dangerous thing. You shouldn't peer pressure your friends into tattoos. However, back to the question.
That peer pressure is a dangerous thing, but continue.
Not with tattoos necessarily, but probably.
No, fully.
Don't get tattoos because your friends tell you to. But stop avoiding my question. Would you and Evan get tattoos for one of your wedding anniversaries?
Well, I can't speak for him because I don't know. I mean, he doesn't.
What do you mean you can't speak for him?
He doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't have any tattoos either. So I don't know that he would necessarily be interested either. I don't think that's something that we would ever be like, let's go do that for our 5. Like, I feel like we would be like, let's go on a trip or let's do, I don't know, something else cute. But a tattoo wouldn't be the first thing that came to either of our minds. So I don't foresee that happening for us.
Never say never.
Right. Truly, you don't know, but
Truly.
I don't think that would be on the top of our list for an anniversary situation.
I'll keep that in mind.
Why are you going to convince him to go do it?
Maybe I'll buy you guys a gift card to a tattoo.
Oh my, peer pressure.
Peer pressure at its finest.
Okay, more engagement
So many
news.
rumors.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't even call this news. This is rumors. Selena
Gomez.
Oh my God, words. Selena Gomez is rumored to be engaged to Benny Blanco. I've seen this for a couple weeks now.
I have as well.
She was posting pictures and putting like emojis right where her ring finger would be.
So she's kind of playing into it.
So she's definitely playing into it a little bit, but I don't know if I believe that.
I don't believe it necessarily either. I feel like if she really was engaged, and didn't want people to know, she wouldn't be posting photos and putting emojis over her ring. She would just be not posting those or posting a, oh my gosh, we're engaged photo at this point. Because it's not like the relationship it's not super public, but it's also not super private. They talk about each other openly. They post about each other openly. So I feel like when the day comes that they do get engaged, at some point they will share that information with the public. I think. I don't know. That's what my gut tells me.
They have not been dating that long.
Really? I feel like it's been a while now.
Yeah, I just looked. It says that they announced their relationship or confirmed it in December of 2023.
No way.
So not even a full
year.
year. Yeah, so I don't know if I believe, the engagement thing. And like you said, at this point, if they were going to share it, they would share it. Why would she just post that? Like
with emojis over
how many other pictures do you think she has without it? So I don't foresee that being a thing. But you actually just told me about this that was really cute that she did.
It was so cute. So, and I might get this wrong, Telluride middle/high school in Colorado shared on Instagram. It was their team's coach wrote, Selena Gomez, please sing the national anthem at one of our home games, Friday, 6 p.m., Saturday, 1 p.m., signed the THS volleyball team. So this was posted to Instagram, which must have caught Selena or somebody on Selena's team's attention because she actually showed up to one of their home games on Saturday. So she took pictures with all the players and the opponent team as well. So that opponent team got real lucky that they were playing them that day because THS really did all of the hard work to get Selena there and get her attention. But I just thought it was really wholesome, really cute. She was in town for a film festival, and I would have passed out if Selena showed up to anything we did in high school.
Agreed. We never thought to do a single thing like that and
we should have.
High school.
We should have been out here writing signed posters and putting
them
on Instagram.
Who knew it was that simple?
Who knew it was so easy to get her attention? But I don't think she ended up singing the national anthem from what I read.
She just showed up.
I think she just showed up, took some pictures, chatted with the girls, which was real wholesome, very demure of her.
Very cute and wholesome. Well, not so cute and wholesome. Let's get into some of that.
Cut to it.
Vanderpump Rules. Brittany files from divorce from Jax Taylor.
Ooh.
Which we have not been keeping up with the Vanderpump drama.
And apparently there's been a lot of it going on, especially this week. I've been seeing rumbling, so maybe that's something we get in more to next week.
I agree. We have to catch up. They also ended up doing a spinoff show from Vanderpump that we never discussed.
No, we should circle back to that. We're going to have a lot of TV, a lot of content to cover this weekend on top of the NFL coming back.
We have a lot to get through. But we did all kind of know, I think we've talked about Brittany and Jax were together. They've been married for 5 years, and they actually have a 3-year-old together, and they just filed for divorce. I didn't know this, but I did see this recently, too. While he was away in mental health treatment, his friends changed the name of his sports bar from Jax's to Brittany's.
Did they really?
Yeah, and it was like a joke, but they really did do it for like a little thing, and she came and they posted all about it, and then they took like a vote
on who it should be.
Yeah. So that drama has been going on, but also I feel like there's been a lot of talk about that show in general of like, do people like it? Do they wish it was just back to Vanderpump?
Right.
And then I did actually see too that one of the main characters who was gone for a while, Stassi, is getting signed to come back to
Vanderpump.
this. I think it's the spinoff.
Oh, to the Valley.
I think
I
it's
feel
the
like they're
spinoff.
slowly moving folks from Vanderpump to the spinoff because I think there's also been rumors, and I haven't looked too much into this, of there being an all new cast for Vanderpump for next season when they come back, rather than any of the originals just starting from scratch with folks that work at Vanderpump or,
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
I need to get into all this reality TV again because
There's a lot
I
of it.
truly have been just watching so many documentaries.
Which is like you, but it's not like you because I feel like you typically watch the reality TV along with
Normally,
the documentaries.
there's a good balance.
There's not a balance right now.
There's no balance.
No, there's a power imbalance. The documentaries are winning, but we need to get back on a reality TV grind because not only is there all of this, but also the Mormon moms.
Yes.
That on Hulu, that
Which
comes out today.
I
think.
feel like we have not talked about Mormon mom talk since like season 1.
That was a season 1 thing, and now here we are, the TV series that we were speculating about way back when is now come to fruition, and I am prepared to be sat with my popcorn, my wine, ready to watch.
I agree. And I don't know if you noticed this, but they started Love is Blind UK, like all these
All
different
over.
versions of Love is Blind, and I haven't caught up with any of those either.
We need to watch those.
I know.
You never watched Love Island, but
I still won't.
that's fair, but it was so good this season.
I know. I will do some catching up, and we will do some catching up, but comment what your favorite reality TV is so that we know what we should get all the tea on. Also in divorce news, we talked about, was it? No, 2 episodes ago, we talked about how J-Lo and Ben Affleck are getting divorced, and she just went viral for posting her little divorce pics.
She's ready to be out there in the streets.
Yeah, she said she wore a shirt that said she's in bloom and unbothered, out of reach and at peace. And yeah, a lot of people were circulating these new pictures she posted. Yep. I did see them and I was like, she's single and ready to mingle.
Oh yeah, they say pictures worth 1,000 words, and her pictures definitely were.
I feel like you have to kind of go through that. Tom Brady had his little divorce pics. Remember those?
I forgot about those. Those were iconic. These are also iconic. Along with her photo, she also posted a quote that said, "Everything is unfolding in divine order." So she is in her single girl era. She is specifically liking and reacting to comments that say she's an unbothered queen and things of that nature.
I'm telling you, she's making her comeback.
She is in her comeback area. I think she's going to come back stronger than ever, and she's going to go back on tour and sell out stadiums. Mark my words.
I believe it. In other artist news, Adele announced that she'll be possibly taking a 15-year break.
Which I don't know where the 15 years is coming from.
I was going to say that is so oddly specific.
It's so weirdly specific, and there was comments about it, and there was an article about it, and multiple TikToks. And I have watched a couple videos of her speaking. She's on her 10-row show abroad in Germany. This is her last show where she announced that she was going to take, I think she said a long break, but she never said how long of a break. And people are just drawing conclusions that this long break means 15 years. So I'm not entirely sure where that number is coming from, but that's what people are saying.
If it's 15 years from music, I will be crushed. If it's 15 years from her residencies / performing,
yeah,
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Take your break.
Yeah, she can take a break from performing, but we need her music.
Yes, correct.
That needs to be prioritized. And that's
something that maybe that's what she means.
Right, and it could be. And we're fine with, maybe a year or two break in general. But anything longer than that, we cannot wait 15 more years for another Adele song. We just simply can't.
We can't have a Rihanna situation. which we're still hopefully and patiently waiting on that.
We are all sad.
Do you remember when it was announced she was performing at the Super Bowl and we were convinced we were getting an album?
We were convinced. We don't know who's performing at this year's Super Bowl yet, do we?
No. Wait, do we?
I don't think we know. I feel like they normally wait until like a month or two out to actually announce it. I'm hopeful for Justin Bieber because I feel like that was a rumor last Super Bowl.
Didn't we predict that it was going to be Taylor Swift?
We did predict it was going to be Taylor Swift.
There's a couple artists
that might be too soon.
have. Yeah, because I don't think her thing will be done.
No, the Eras Tour ends in December.
But then starts again.
No, done.
Oh.
No more Eras Tour.
Okay, then maybe she is.
She's on break right now she just wrapped up in London. She comes back in the U.S. for her last leg of the tour starting in October, maybe? Because I'm going to go see her throughout this leg. And it's just going to be a really emotional time.
Oh.
But I don't think she would come back that soon.
I do.
After, and you think
I think it's a possibility. And I think it's too soon to write it off.
Okay.
Could be in the script.
I mean, I'll be happy.
Could be in the script. Let's go back to that little PR announcement that was printed.
Let's see if it was in there.
Okay. Where are we? Let's get into some shady stories.
Yay.
We've got a couple longer ones this week.
Yeah,
So hopefully our words will word.
But we can never make too many promises.
All right, starting with shady story number 1. A woman and her kids moved into the apartment below me. One of her kids ended up being in my kids' class, and they quickly became best friends. I would often have him around for dinner and to play, and I did notice that it was always my place, and my kid was never allowed in theirs, yet they allowed other kids there. My kid was shy and not naughty at all, I just want to add. I ended up starting a new job a year or so later, and this kid's mom was already working there and had for a few years. She seemed happy to see me, and we became friends. Considering we were neighbors and our kids were best friends too, it made sense. We were also similar in age, only 2 years difference. I didn't know she was working there. It was just a pleasant surprise for both of us, or so I thought. I started babysitting her kids the days she'd work and walking them to school and back, giving them dinner too, because the shifts were 12 hours long. We'd meet for coffee, go round to each other's apartments, and sometimes work shifts together and go on nights out. We became quite close. I tend to get on with people really well, so I imagine my surprise when I started working this job and people didn't want to work with me. I'd get left by myself when you're supposed to work in pairs. I was constantly bullied by a few people. I'd tell this friend and she'd listen and say they were out of order, etc., but I did see her talking to them and laughing and joking, and she was quite popular with everyone. Over the years, I did a lot for this woman. I was there for her through a toxic breakup and always helped her out. I did notice she didn't really do anything for me, though, such as on days she wasn't working, she would drive her kids to school. At that time, I didn't drive, so I'd sometimes have to walk in the pouring rain with my kid all the way to school and back. She'd drive straight past us and never offer a lift for my kid, even when they go to the same place. It literally makes no difference to her and doesn't push her out at all. Also, my partner would have to drive me to work or pick me up on the days he didn't work the same shift, and she would never offer to take me or bring me home. He would have to do it. Even when it would have saved him a lot of effort and made no difference to her, as we lived at the same place and worked at the same place. I would go out of my way for her so much and often, yet these little things that didn't put her out at all, she wouldn't do. I never said anything and continued as normal with the one-sided friendship. She eventually moved out, and then not so long after, we both changed jobs. We were both in a small group chat with a couple of others from work and would meet up. I noticed after we left the job, she stopped opening and responded to my texts. And when I sent her birthday wishes on Facebook, she ignored my post and liked everyone else's apart from mine. Then I'd see lots of pics go up of the group out having a good time. This shocked me as I was in the group chat, but nothing was said about meeting up. Then I realized nobody had been speaking in there for a while, and clearly they had made a new group chat and left me out of it. Me and one previous woman I was close with from the old job, basically the one person who liked me there, ended up messaging me, and she started spilling everything out to me, saying that when I started the job, my friend would talk badly about me to everyone there and warn them about me. I wish I knew what was said, but I guess I never will. But it worked because nobody liked me there. It was the most toxic place I'd ever worked, and it was all down to her, unbeknownst to me at the time. The women I did everything for, and who I thought was a close friend to me, when she really hated me and turned everyone against me. So she was a fake friend to me just to use me while I was working with her and living above her. Soon as those things changed, she cut me off. Everyone who worked at that place deleted me from Facebook not long after I left, but they all stayed friends with each other. I never understood why, and I guess I do now. They pretended to be friends until they didn't have to see me anymore. I say friends, and these people were civil with me at best. To this day, I have no idea why she did this, but that was 7 years of my life, and now I don't trust anyone and refuse to have close friends. Any suggestions welcome as to why she may have did this to me. Jealousy.
Literal jealousy.
I honestly, 7 years of doing that, I'm sorry. It would have
7 years is a long time.
It would have taken the one time of them driving past in the rain
and I'd be
not
done.
picking up, and I'd be like, we are not friends.
Yes, you are a better person than us. So what I would suggest in this situation is, since she, wasted your time with fake friendship, maybe we waste a little bit of our time with spam texts. So what I'm saying, but not, fully
This isn't advice.
This isn't advice. This is just something that maybe I would do, is find a website, maybe randompicturesofcats.org, where there are services that will send somebody, they cannot unsubscribe because it is already paid for, a random photo of a cat every day for a year, or as long as you so choose. So maybe we sign up for a couple of those and just send them her way. And take that information however you will. But that could be something that, no harm, no foul, but puts a little smile on your face.
That's interesting. I've never heard you suggest that. I didn't know you even had that thought. And I'm now questioning any spam text I've ever gotten.
Well, as you should.
And I think it was you.
It could be. Who will know?
Yeah. Overall, that's a really unfortunate situation. It's one of those, in hindsight. What do we say? Hindsight 2020, which I learned what that meant
just
recently, and we talked about it on the podcast.
Yes. Yep. 2020 vision.
So unfortunately, it's one of those, but you just gotta. It's their problem. It's not you.
It's them.
And that's really all you can say about this. And what we haven't done is rate the Shady stories.
We have not. This is Shady and this is mean. And there was no revenge involved, which is something.
It was just simply shady.
It was simply shady. I rank stories with revenge slightly higher. So I would give this a 6 out of 10.
I'd say 7 out of 10.
Shady story number 2. Back in elementary school, there was a section of recess that we were not allowed to go into. It was a pretty big playground, and there was a track surrounding it so we could walk or play. Our playground was behind our school, being in between that and the woods. The woods had a gated area, and our teachers forbid us from going in there. They told us there was patches of poison ivy and ultimately not a place for kids to go explore. Of course, our young selves, we let our curiosity get the best of us. One time during recess, my classmate and I were playing Truth or Dare. There was a boy I absolutely despised because he was always so rude to me and just overall disrespectful. I dared him that he had to stay in the woods for at least 5 minutes. He then double dog dared me to stay in the woods for 10 minutes. We kept going back and forth and ultimately decided we would both go in and see who could outlast each other. The gate wasn't hard to open, considering you just had to lift the handle. So him and I went into the woods and honestly were just chilling for a while. But we weren't talking to each other. We didn't have phones on us, so we couldn't tell how much time was passing besides trying to count in our heads. Seemed like 20 minutes had passed, but clearly we weren't going to lose the dare. Some more time had passed, and there wasn't anyone in the woods. I knew if they caught us, they would expel us or something, so I ran into a tree and climbed high enough. The boy tried to climb up the tree I was on, but couldn't, and hid in a bush not far from me. He ended up getting caught by one of the teachers, and they brought him out of the woods. Once I saw they had left, I climbed back down real quick and ran to the gate. At this point, all classes who were outside at resource had gathered at the gates and were staring at the boy the teachers caught. My other classmates saw me and quickly shielded the area as I was heading into it, so no one could see me coming out of the woods. I asked them why the teachers went in there, and they said it was because they saw a group of our friends lingering around the area and the gate was open. I know this was stupid and obvious, but we were kids. The teachers never found out that I was in the woods, and my friends nor the boy ratted me out. The boy ended up getting expelled from school, not just because of the incident, but he was low-key a badass kid and always got in trouble. Guess this was the last straw from him, and I'm glad that I was the one to cause the incident because I could not stand his ass. On top of that, he ended up getting poison ivy rashes all over his body. Yikes. Well, I mean, he jumped in that bush, so I'm guessing that was a big old bush of poison ivy.
I loved this story because it really reminded me of we had woods behind our elementary school. And although we were not forbid from going in there, nobody ever did because we were convinced they were haunted, which
So convinced.
I feel like we may have talked about during spooky season.
We might have. I don't know if we have, though.
Well, we were convinced the woods were haunted and that we were hearing little girl ghosts in the woods.
We were. We thought it was a little girl ghost.
And honestly, I don't even know how that started. And now thinking back on it, perhaps it was the teachers at the school that started it themselves just so that we wouldn't wander into the woods.
Honestly, I feel like that's a better strategy than forbidding the forest.
Right, because if you forbid something, the kids are going to want to do it. And if you say, oh, no, you can go.
Yeah.
But there's ghosts, so it's up to you. I think the kids would choose not to go.
They're going to choose wisely. And as interested as we were in ghosts as elementary school students, we were not putting a toe in that woods. And I feel like, I feel like we thought was, I feel like there'd be like random objects, which like in hindsight, of course, randomly objects would like appear in the woods. Like we'd be like, that wasn't there before.
Oh, yeah. And I why do I want to say we named it like Abigail, the ghost?
It was named Abigail.
Yeah, we named it. So yeah, this story reminded me of that, and that's how I feel that schools should go about this the correct way.
Instilling fear through ghost stories.
Exactly. But this was a funny story.
Loved it.
It's innocent enough, except the kid getting expelled. But then again, like if he was getting into trouble all the time and like the last straw was like
going in the woods, then
that's on him.
That's on him. It's an 8 out of 10 for me.
And let's be honest, you won the dare. So, agreed. I think this is funny and cute and brings back memories. 8 out of 10. And that is it for this episode. If you want to see us talk more about wedding stuff, comments that we saw, answering any questions we saw on that last video, Brittany's point of view of things that went down at the wedding, or any details that I just think I might have missed, we're going to be talking about that on the Patreon bonus content. And if not, make sure you keep writing in your shady stories and get your spooky stories ready because that is coming up so soon. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.